Councilwoman Council.
Oh, there you go. Mayor, the podium is yours. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I decided to have written comments this year just to help to not only tell the story of where we have come from over these past 5 years, but also to be able to express where the goals of this budget are. Mr. President, members of council, Mr. Controller, citizens of Pittsburgh, I'm pleased to be here with you today to present the proposed operating and capital budgets for 2019 as I share the vision for our city in the coming year. Before we begin, I ask that you join me in a moment of silence for our friends and neighbors who lost their lives at Tree of Life Synagogue in Squirrel Hill only 2 weeks ago. Thank you. This will be the first time we've all been together since that horrific tragedy. I just want to take a moment to thank all the city employees that are here gathered today. We celebrate Super Bowls and Stanley Cups together as a city. We come together in sports and wear black and gold and consider ourselves proud to be Pittsburghers. In tragedy, we come together as well. And I am so very proud of every one of you in the work that you did in pulling this city together, in the ability that you did to deliver the services and go the extra mile in understanding to the families, to the Jewish community, to the victims that were wounded, to everybody that felt as if something had been taken from all of us. I really appreciate the work that you've done. I also want to take a brief moment to recognize and thank the members of the Department of Public Safety, police, fire, and EMS, who showed such bravery and heroism during that chaotic day. I can tell each of you members of council and the controller, there were multi-jurisdictions. There were people coming in from all parts of Western Pennsylvania, federal, state, county, local. And at that very moment, it was all pulled together and they worked as one team. Today, we will highlight drastic improvements in Pittsburgh's financial condition. Years of steady and measured financial management allowed us to exit Act 47 oversight in February of this year. However, challenges and risks must be addressed to ensure that we remain on this path towards lasting, long-term financial sustainability. I want to share some of the strategic investments we have made over the last 4 years, as well as some key initiatives planned for 2019 and beyond. Our budget investments reflect our P4 principles, investing in our people, providing them the best place to live, doing our part to improve our planet, and maximizing our performance and spending. We have made progress in restructuring city government and improving the delivery of services to the people, but there's always room for improvement. Pittsburgh deserves the very best. I'm happy to share some of my priorities going forward. In evaluating our city's priorities in the coming year, I looked to the standards we implemented during the first P4 summit in 2015. The areas in which we recognize Pittsburgh's needs the greatest investments to reach its fullest potential: people, planet, place, performance. People. Investment in our people is crucial. Today we recognize that our people are our greatest capital. Opening doors of opportunity to all of our residents has ripple effect on raising our entire city. In 2018, our summer jobs program, Learn and Earn, found jobs for all 2,300 youth applicants, which was 100 more than the year prior. Through our innovative Rec to Tech program, we're bridging the technology gap for Pittsburgh youth, creating greater opportunity for growth and learning throughout our city parks recreation centers. In May, in conjunction with the organized labor and construction industry, we announced a $350,000 workforce development fund that will support 21st century jobs for city residents. These programs come alongside continued investment in programs such as Snow Angels and City Cuts to assist our vulnerable and elderly residents. For a second year in a row, the city scored 100 on the Human Rights Commission's Municipal Equality Index scorecard. The 2018 MEI scorecard graded the city on clear criteria, non-discrimination laws, municipal services, law enforcement, and leadership on LGBTQ equality. However, investments in our people do not just come from programs, but the third places, not where you work or where you go to school, not where you live, but where you come to play and enjoy life. For so many across our city and beyond, those areas are our parks, recreation centers, pools, playgrounds, senior centers. Over the past 4 years, we have dramatically increased our spending in these areas. Alongside the advancement of our programming, the physical infrastructure improvements are a crucial piece of creating a city for all. Our parks and our senior recreation centers are seeing the highest level of funding in nearly 2 decades. With recreation and senior centers seeing over $4 million in investment. We have created the city's first 10-year fixed asset management system to provide long-term investment and fiscal responsibility. We understand the importance of caring for our city's most vulnerable. Our children and seniors deserve the very best. Planet. Our work includes increasing our commitment to sustainability and our planet. In 2018, the Equipment Leasing Authority purchased 6 all-electric Chevy Bolts for the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspection. The Bolts are utilized on a daily basis and have to date saved an estimated 650 gallons of fuel over the 4 months they have been in service, a fuel cost saving of approximately $1,500. These vehicles are powered by the sun. The city has 4 other electric vehicles in its fleet and plans to purchase up to 10 more in 2019. Working with partners like our Public Parking Authority, the Pittsburgh Region Clean Cities, Allegheny County, and multiple entities throughout the Commonwealth, we plan to ensure the proper infrastructure plans are in place to turn our goal of a fossil-free fleet into a reality. Next year, we also intend to begin the process of replacing the majority of our streetlights with energy-efficient LED lights. In addition to replacing antiquated equipment and producing significant energy savings, these new streetlights can serve as the pylons of our future digital infrastructure network, allowing the city to deliver services more efficiently and effectively through the use of data and technology. We've worked with the faculty and students at Carnegie Mellon University to imagine what a truly smart city could be, one that focuses not on the latest and greatest gadgets, but putting technology into the service of improving all residents' lives. Our commitment to sustainability has been recognized nationally and internationally. Just a few weeks ago, the city of Pittsburgh was one of the 20 American cities to win the Bloomberg Philanthropies Climate Challenge. The $2.5 million in resources will be utilized to help accelerate attainment of the city's 2030 climate action target of reducing carbon emissions by 50% through energy efficiency and expansion of renewable energy production. The award is a recognition of the city's national and international leadership in environmental stewardship and innovation, in proving that we can all make a positive contribution to addressing climate change and making a healthy community. 2018 has also shown us an unprecedented level of natural disasters in the city. Landslides and floods created havoc in many communities and stretched our budget to the max. In 2019, we will be proactive as the threat of global warming disrupts cities across America. $10 million will go to landslide protection and flood control. Last year, the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure was launched. They have been tackling these unprecedented climate issues firsthand. Increased capacity through additional hires in DOMI will allow us to continue to fight this threat as it develops. Some of the needed staff changes the department will see include new senior project managers, more inspectors in the field, and increased staff capacity at the permit counter alongside investment in traffic control, electricians, and paint division staff. Place. These DOMI improvements just scratch the surface when it comes to caring for our place, our roads, bridges, public safety facilities. For decades, Pittsburgh has been playing catch-up on years of disinvestment. In 2019, we'll take dramatic steps to invest above and below our streets. $133 million will be invested in capital projects. The Department of Mobility and Infrastructure has been tackling many of these projects head-on alongside the Department of Public Works. Together, they are creating long-term planning for the infrastructure and facility needs of Pittsburgh's future. Each year, we have increased our capital investments as we catch up on maintenance across our city properties and public areas. This year, we will see that level increase once more as we analyze the needs of all of our facilities to develop long-term plans. These plans will not only extend the life of many beloved public assets, but minimize the chances of sliding into backlogs in the future. 2019 will see the highest level of paving in living memory. $20.3 million will allow for over 70 miles of roadway to be resurfaced. New regulations and advanced planning by the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure will also ensure we are coordinating our utility work. Too often, we would see freshly paved roads torn up for utility work. These new efforts will minimize this practice to ensure the city and its residents have a greater return on our paving projects. Our facilities will also see increased spending in the coming year. The fiscal year will see the greatest investment in parks, recreation, and senior centers and public safety facilities in over a decade. Nearly $6 million in public safety spending will provide our city's finest with the quality living and work conditions. This investment in 2019 will spend more money in public safety facilities than 2010 to 2017 combined. Specifically, public safety will see two major facility projects. In District 2, the former Thaddeus Stevens School next to Townsend Park will be converted into the Special Deployment Division. Thanks to the support of Governor Wolf, we received a $1 million RCAP from the Pennsylvania Office of the Budget. This project will not only provide the division much needed additional space, it will breathe new life into a currently vacant school building in the heart of the West End. Across town in the East End, we are in the early stages of development of our new public safety training center. $2 million in 2019 will allow us to begin design on this transformational site. When finished, this state-of-the-art facility will allow Pittsburgh Police, Bureau of Fire, and Bureau of Emergency Medical Services to receive the best training possible. The site could also allow Pittsburgh to serve as the regional center of our police training, creating greater equity and best practices across our entire region. The increased investment in training facilities and practices comes alongside our continued bolstering of public safety staffing numbers. In the Bureau of Police, after years of hovering under 900, we are finally budgeted to eclipse that goal. Since 2015, we have also seen dramatic increases in the number of recruit classes. We've constantly seen more graduate each year since 2016. The Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire will continue to see steady numbers. After years of underperforming its budgeted capacity, we have met the needed budgeted strength to keep Pittsburgh safe for the past 2 years. The Bureau of Emergency Medical Services will see the total number of staff eclipse 200 for the first time in over a decade. The successful implementation of our EMT program has helped to reduce the burden on our medics while decreasing the need for outside calls. Across the city, we'll see $130 million spread out over 150 separate deliverables, with numerous important and beneficial projects being conducted in each council district. In 2017, the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure participated in the City Accelerator Program, an initiative of Living Cities in the City Foundation. Grant funds were used to conduct a thorough prioritization process on the city's more than 800+ steps, utilizing data on neighborhood density, linkage to public transit, and proximity to important destinations like grocery stores, schools, and houses of worship. 2019 is the first year we are taking action on construction for steps prioritized through this process. In District 1, we will see the renovation of James Street to Hemlock Street steps. We also see upgrades to some of the North Side's historic parks. Fineview Park will say play equipment upgrades. In our partnership with the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy, we'll see significant upgrades to Pittsburgh's oldest park, Allegheny Commons. In District 2, we'll see nearly $500,000 for upgrades to the Sheridan Healthy Active Living Center and $300,000 for the Halpin Street steps. The district will also see funding for the Sheridan Park Master Plan to help shape the next century of this hidden gem. This has come alongside DOMI's increased works on the many landslides in the West End. District 3, the 2019 capital budget includes $400,000 for the implementation of Phase 1 of the Southside Park Master Plan. The city will also partner with PennDOT for a major overhaul of East Carson Street. This vibrant business district will see new life from the Smithfield Street Bridge to the Birmingham Bridge, with new partial sidewalks, new lighting, new benches, and new paving. In District 4, we'll see Sawmill Run zoning study to look at the appropriate type of zoning for the flood-prone Sawmill Run corridor. As the climate has changed, it's not safe or practical to build houses in the same places that we did 100 years ago. We must work actively to fight the constant flooding that plagues this area of our city. The district will also see $150,000 for improvements to McKinley Park Playground and nearly $1 million for upgrades to Fire Station 23. District 5 will see work begin on the critical 4 Mile Run watershed. The city's Public Works Department, Water Authority, and Parks Conservancy are working together to mitigate the explosive flooding in Hazelwood. This crucial project will not only greatly improve a neighborhood, but increase our sustainability efforts. The district will also see over $800,000 in improvements at Shenley Park Ice Skating Rink. These improvements will extend the life of the annual skating season for this beloved treasure. District 6 will see the benefits of a $195 million project in collaboration with the Port Authority of Allegheny County, PennDOT, Federal Highway Administration. The bus rapid transit plan will connect Pennsylvania's second and third largest job centers, downtown and Oakland, respectively. This project has the benefit of creating targeted investment in Uptown, the Bluff, and the Hill District. The district will see $1 million for the demolition and reconstruction of the Robert E. Williams Park building, a beloved community center in the heart of the Upper Hill. The district will also see $500,000 for Jefferson Recreation Center, upgrades and additional money for upgrades to Kennard Field. District 7 will see 2 major park improvement projects. Design work will begin for the renovation and restoration of historic Arsenal Park, the beginning of a $10 million park overhaul plan. In Highland Park, work will begin on the transformation of Heth's Run. This ecological and recreation project will transform a corner of the city's historic Highland Park. We'll also begin preliminary planning for the multi-million-dollar replacement of the 28th Street Bridge to Polish Hill. This will join a massive overhaul of the city's Strip District Smallman Street corridor, transforming this iconic public location and creating much-needed mobility safety improvements for pedestrians. District 8 will see pedestrian-focused upgrades connecting many of our dense residential neighborhoods. These improvements will vary by intersection, but include pedestrian signal upgrades and crosswalk improvements and traffic calming at key highly used intersections. The district will also see major improvements to Whiteman Park through a new master plan. Squirrel Hill will see a revitalized public gathering space with significant storm water management upgrades. In District 9, we'll see a massive improvement to Homewood Park's Willie Stargell Field. A collaborative effort will see this become the center of Homewood. The demolition of a vacant school building will expand this site dramatically to create a top-of-the-line sports complex to rival any in the county or region. We will also begin working with the URA to move forward on several key affordable housing and mixed-use developments in accordance with community plans. And finally, performance. We have worked diligently over the past 4 years to improve the efficiency and performance of our government. Simply put, the people of Pittsburgh deserve to know we are working hard to provide the best return on their tax dollars. These performance improvements mean improving the working relationship between the city and its municipal authorities, entities designed to carry out critical public services on the city's behalf. This year, the Wolf administration awarded PWSA with almost $50 million in funding to further protect our water system from lead in advanced line replacement. The Catapult program from the URA is helping support local and minority-owned startups benefiting from the revitalization of city neighborhoods. The Housing Opportunity Fund is close to making nearly $10 million in expenditures to create and protect affordable housing in neighborhoods across our city. This is one of several key programs to revitalize neighborhoods and business districts. And I have ordered all authorities to follow the city's lead in workplace reforms, from paying all employees at least $15 an hour to adopting the Rooney Rule in hiring practices. Improvements in the performance of our city are also taking place across our departments. In the Department of City Planning, instead of a disjointed, sometimes decade-long process involving multiple community project partners leading different phases of park projects, planning will now lead park reconstruction projects from start to finish. The department will run the planning process, which includes soliciting feedback from the public on current and desired uses for park infrastructure. Having the city lead the process means we can provide infrastructure upgrades in a way that is standardized and equitable. A large investment will be the new home of many city services. After decades of disrepair, we will be investing in a new home for the offices currently located at the John P. Robin Civic Building on Ross Street. However, this new home is not just about space. It will become a one-stop shop for permits, streamlining the difficult process of doing business in the city to create a better return for not only residents, but businesses who are looking to grow. The Department of Permits, Licensings, and Inspections continues to see record business. I'm happy to say a new online permit system will launch in 2019. This represents a milestone for a department that didn't even have computers just 5 years ago. We will continue our multi-year plan to increase the number of PLI employees, especially inspectors. These additions help the city to keep pace with increased development and provide better services to the residents and business owners. PLI continues to invest in cross-training to allow staff to complete more inspections across different functional areas. The additional hires throughout this address are still well below the staffing levels over a decade ago. Now, as we reestablish the city following our exit of Act 47, it's imperative we work to create a competitive, modern-day workforce. We will begin the implementation of the class and compensation study next year, continuing for the next 4 years, adjusting salaries to reflect comparable cities, beginning with those with the greatest disparity. This will help to retain talented employees, and providing a range of salaries, raises can be guaranteed to those who perform at the highest levels. I am proud of the work that city employees do each and every day to make the city a great place to live, to work, to visit, to enjoy. Please join me in thanking them for all of their hard work. As staffing levels change, the city continues to pursue cost mitigation strategies for healthcare and workers' compensation. We have slowed the rate of growth in healthcare costs by moving to self-insured arrangement and increasing our employee wellness program, which also have mitigated costs for our employees. Through our commitment to workplace and employee safety, we have reduced the number of injuries, both those requiring medical attention and those that result in lost time. A city that has a disproportionate share of its operating budget paying off debt will struggle to deliver core services and fund priority programs and initiatives. In 2014, almost 20% of the total general fund expenditures were dedicated to paying off old debt. These are dollars that can't be used to hire employees, pay existing employees more, competitive wages, or provide more services. The good news is that by exercising financial discipline, we have turned the tide and significantly reduced debt service costs. However, we continue to face significant infrastructure needs and must deal with the uncertainty of CDBG funds, which allow for targeted investments in our neighborhoods, yet continue to be reduced by Washington. As we develop the city's needs for the next decade, we have adopted smart practices to ensure we balance the needs of the city with moderate debt obligations. Implementing a comprehensive solution to our pension funding has and will continue to be a priority for my administration. As we begin the 5-year plan I called for last year, the city will have doubled its contribution to the pension system compared to the beginning of my administration, and will contribute over $200 million above the minimum municipal obligation over the next 5 years. Though we have drastically improved our finances, it is crucial we carry the prudency of the Act 47 years. Council has adopted best practices to ensure we continue on our path of financial stability. The 2019 budget and 5-year plan includes balanced budgets every year and maintains an adequate fund balance. While our fund balance stays about 10% target every year, we are still significantly below the GFOA recommended practice of 16.7%. So we must resist the temptation to reduce our reserves. We must ensure we have adequate amount of cash available to start the fiscal year and guard against emergencies and a possible economic downturn. I'm confident we've taken the steps to provide a solid financial future for the city of Pittsburgh, its citizens, and its guests. We've spoken this morning about where our city stands. Now I want to take a moment to talk about where it's going. 1 PGH. Since the launch of 1 PGH in 2017, we have brought together more than 125 partners to help identify critical needs and develop plans for implementation. Key to achieving the ambitious goals of 1 PGH is a continued involvement from every sector, including public, private, nonprofit, civic, and philanthropic. Later this month, we will announce the specifics of our implementation plan. We know the problems, the shocks and stresses, affordable housing, health and wellness, workforce development, early childhood education, mobility, arts and culture, critical infrastructure, environmental and recreational assets, climate action, green infrastructure. Now we must create the system in which to do it. Later this month, we will announce the details of the 1 PGH plan, a comprehensive plan that works together with our nonprofit institutions, with our corporate community, with our philanthropic community, with civic engaged nonprofits, and with cross-sector government in order to address the critical issues for the next 12 years of the city of Pittsburgh. 1 Pittsburgh will be an organization built to long outlast any mayor, any city council, a true nexus of the efforts of the public and private sectors, a partnership that will help to create the untied community we all want to call home, a true city for all. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to working with you on all of these plans.